Welcome back to the channel. This is Dylan with Weeknight Eats, and today we're making chicken cheese hoagies. This is a recreation of my wife's favorite sandwich at a local Coney Island, so let's get started. First thing we're going to do here, as always, is start cutting some things up. This is an absolutely massive green pepper we found, or capsicum for my friends outside North America, and for my other friends that are not outside North America, you just learned a thing. You're welcome. Anyway, this is my preferred method for cutting the peppers up. You don't get any of the white pith on the flesh, all the seeds and core stay in a nice tidy package, and you just pitch it. You can also cut the extra off the top, obviously, if you want to. I'm not going to, that's my prerogative. But once you get the flesh cut into the bigger chunks, just cut it down into strips, fajita strip style. Then move on to the orange pepper and do the same thing. Of course, you can use whatever color peppers you want. These just happen to be what I had in my fridge. You can also get experimental if you want. Try some hotter peppers. I've used poblanos before. They're still pretty mild, but they taste good. Anything will work. Just make sure you and your family can handle the hotter stuff if you go with that. So yeah, just cut them up and we'll move on to the onion. Easiest way to do this is just to top and tail the onion, and peel the skin off, cut it in half, cut the halves in half, and slice across a few times. This will give you the same fajita style strips that the peppers are, and ideally you want to cut them about the same size so they'll cook evenly as well. And then just add some oil in a pan and get them frying on a medium-high heat. This took me about 5 minutes, but go by look and feel more than the time. You want them to get some charred bits. You don't want to cook the hell out of them though. You want them cooked but still have a little texture, a little bite. Basically just make them perfect. These are some massive chicken breasts. Just look, whoop, something went flying there. But look at these guys. They're huge. First the pepper and now the chicken. Now that spot of fat there, that has to go. It's nasty. It won't render down. Just gross. Nobody wants to eat that. You don't. Your family doesn't. Just get rid of it. If you want, you can also cut off some of these little bloody spots as well. I didn't like that one here. Yeah, that one, so I did get rid of that. I mean, you can keep it. It's not going to hurt anything. I'm just being picky because I can. So there are a couple of different ways you can do this. Either cook the breast as a whole and cut it up after, or cut it up first and cook the pieces. This was so huge it probably would have had to bake, so I went with the second option. This does have a couple benefits, but one big con as well if you're not used to cooking chicken. Now, in case nobody has ever told you, there are two reasons people don't generally come to your house for chicken breast. First is that under-seasoned chicken sucks, and by and large, most people severely under-season their chicken. Okay. Secondly is that dry chicken sucks, and by and large, most people severely overcook their chicken. So we want to have perfectly cooked, perfectly seasoned chicken. If you're scared of cooking chicken, just make it dry. You didn't want company anyway, right? So as I said, there are two benefits with cutting it up beforehand. The first one is that it's so much easier to season because there's about 1,000 times more surface area. It doesn't matter what seasonings you use, but at the very least it needs salt and pepper. And you use more salt than you think you'll need. I mean, don't dump on a couple tablespoons or something, but whenever you think you should stop shaking, just do another 2 or 3 shakes. I also used chili powder. And again, this looks like a lot, but chicken is bland on its own. If you take one thing away from this video, please have it be to never under-season your chicken again. Now this isn't anything hot, just your basic chili powder, slightly smoky, ever so slight heat, but mainly just flavor. I also used granulated garlic here. Garlic powder would be fine, but if you're going to use garlic salt, omit the actual salt, and that one shaker will have you covered. Next thing I added was an Italian dried herb blend. It has all the basics: oregano, basil, parsley, marjoram. I think there's even a little rosemary in this one. Just be careful if you're adding the dried herbs, as they could start to overpower the other flavors. And that's it. You just don't want too many flavors here, or it can start to get muddled. Then just get in here and mix it with your hands. Forget the spoons and spatulas, whatever else. If you're afraid to touch chicken, what are you doing making it in the first place? Just give it some love. Give it a little massage. Give it something to think about while it's frying. And there we go. Same pan we cooked the peppers and onions in. We'll add some oil here on a medium heat this time and chuck it in. I said there were two benefits. The second is that this cooks really fast. This is also where the con comes in, though, is if you're not paying attention, it can go dry in an instant. So I wouldn't recommend walking away at this stage. Just keep moving it, keep checking it, keep loving it. You can see here the nice color I got on the first side. Just be careful when you're trying to not dry it out that you do actually get every last piece cooked. That would not be a pleasant surprise to bite into when the sandwich is finished. So here it was pretty much done to my liking. I decided to go ahead and pull it off the heat and get ready to assemble this bad boy. A little Nico's Kitchen reference there if he's watching. Like he would watch me, or need a shout out from a channel with 18 subs. So not only are we toasting the sub rolls, we're toasting them with garlic butter. Oh yeah. Did I mention that this sandwich is better than the one my wife likes at that Coney Island? Way better. Anyway, half a stick of butter. I crushed 4 cloves of garlic. You can use more or less depending on your taste. I also added some salt because this was unsalted butter. Obviously if you're using salted butter, you'd just skip that step. Then just pop it in the microwave 15 or 20 seconds till it's done. Here we have our sub rolls we got from the local grocery store. Try and use something local for this. Higher quality bread from a bakery will make a big difference. But of course, if all you can get is something from the Walmart bakery, that'll work just fine too. Here we have our melted garlic butter. Doesn't that just look amazing? You could just drink it by its... No, don't drink that. You're disgusting for thinking that. Shame on you. Anyway, just start spreading the golden elixir of goodness onto the bread. Don't go overboard, but you want the entire surface brushed with the butter for maximum effect. And this also just makes for some killer garlic bread if you're ever in a bind as well. Then just pop it in the oven under a hot preheated broiler. Well, of course it's hot if it's preheated. Full disclosure here, I walked away for a couple minutes and these almost went too far. So don't be me, just stay there and watch them. They're still good though, it'll be fine. It'll be good garlic bread at that stage. On to final assembly though, just start piling up that chicken on one side and put a fair amount. Sub bread will more than hold up to a fairly stuffed sandwich. And on the other side, you guessed it, our peppers and onions from earlier. Put a fair amount of that on as well. If somebody doesn't like grilled peppers and onions, they don't need to be in your house. Kick them out and never speak to them again. Life advice by Dylan, my new segment. After that, we just have some provolone cheese, not smoked. Break it up if you have to, like I did, to get good coverage on everything. But then that whole thing just goes back under the broiler, which will still be hot, until it looks, well, something like this. Look at that. So good. You want to stuff your face in right now, but be careful, it's hot. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. That was my chicken cheese hoagie. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you all soon.